Okay, Paul Morrissey here in Chiang Mai, here with this YouTube vlog on the hashtag Maymac World Tour. So, Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather have just completed their epic 4-day bonanza to promote their super fight on August 26th, which, en passant, is my birthday. All birthday wishes and kisses are more than welcome on the comment section when the birthday actually comes. So, yeah, anyway. So this world tour started in Viva Las Vegas, up to Toronto, then was in Brooklyn, New York, Brooklyn in the house, and finished in London, UK. So, 4 very different events with different types of crowds, all different types of energy and different quotes and mad things happening from both fighters. The whole thing was a bit of a shit show for some people. It was entertaining, funny, cringy, glamorous, kitsch, corny, all those things at once, dramatic and also very controversial. And that's what I'm going to focus on here. So let's forget about all the other things. Yeah, sure, there was psychological warfare. Neither looked scared of the other in the stare downs. You could call it a 2-2 if you wanted to score it like a match. I might even say 3-1 to McGregor, but hey, never mind about that, because this is to focus on the whole polemique, the whole controversy surrounding this race route that has overshadowed the whole thing, and which could now overshadow the actual fight itself, because it hasn't gone away yet. In fact, if anything, it's been growing legs over the last few days. So let's start where it all started. It was with Conor McGregor's remark to Mayweather on the second night in Toronto, when he said to Mayweather, "Dance for me, boy," making the "make it rain" gesture, which is done where? By guys who want to act like players at strip clubs. And why was he saying that? Well, it was in reference to Mayweather having 50 strippers on his payroll at his gentleman's club. So that's why he was saying "dance for me, boy." That's why he was saying "dance for me." Now, the "boy" is the real problematic word for a lot of people. And it's really where the whole race route erupted. It's because the word "boy" has loaded and charged racial connotations dating back to slave era America. Okay, slavery was abolished some 150 years ago, but of course there's a social and linguistic legacy which lives on to this day. Even in 2017, we all know about the well-documented strife of black people in white America today. And so language like "boy," which was used by slave owners on their black subjects, "go work for me, boy," "get to the field, boy," this kind of derogatory language and superior, patronizing language was used. Now, it has been very onerously claimed by some media outlets, not only in the US but also back home in Ireland, that McGregor was consciously invoking slave era language by saying "boy" to Mayweather. Whew, hold up for a second. Let's explain why. Let me explain why. That is just so over the top and so willfully reaching. I feel that's the word, that's the problem with in the liberal world, where people are looking for the, the constantly outraged people on Twitter are looking for these kind of things where there isn't anything. Look, going back to his Jose Aldo fight and with Nate Diaz and Eddie Alvarez, he's used this kind of superior language such as "I'm your daddy," "do what you're told," "I'm the boss." That's the whole McGregor persona and shtick, is that he's the king of the whole joint. So when he calls guys his son, he's acting like the daddy. Son and boy, these kind of words. Now, he's used "boy" with the boy he calls Diaz. The boy did alright, the boy has no chance. These kind of things. Now, he said it at Mayweather, and all of a sudden, because it's a black man he said it to, it's being labelled as a racist slur and jibe. Whew! I think that it's just PC-ness gone mad. To say that a white man now, in the context of a trash talk bonanza, spectacular show where anything almost goes, where they're saying all sorts of things to each other, that he has to be constantly aware of Mayweather's race and not be allowed to say things like "do what you're told" in the context of that, because 150 years ago plantation owners used to say that to black men. I mean, I don't know what to say to that. I just think that's frankly ridiculous and way too onerous on someone like Conor McGregor, who was a prize fighter, not an ivory tower sociologist or anthropologist. He came out afterwards, and it was quite clear how flabbergasted and shocked he was afterwards when Ariel Helwani asked him. He had no idea what the question was even. He had no idea that boy could be used in that context. And I'll tell you what, myself, someone who I would consider myself very well versed and educated on American social history, not only through formal education, but as a citizen sociologist. I've read books like Guns, Germs and Steel by Jared Diamond, which really gets into the whole slave era and the whole the conquering of the Americas by the white man and why that all happened. Malcolm X's autobiography. I've read Martin Luther King's biography. I'm very well versed on the whole era. Loads of motion pictures and books, things like Mississippi Burning, American History X, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. It's an era I'm fascinated with. In 2017, I didn't realise when Conor McGregor said that to Mayweather. I had to be reminded and had to be shown through Twitter the outcry over it, for my memory to be jogged of the racial importance of that word. I use that word in a southern accent with my white friend from Florida, because to me, boy, I link that with the deep south, and boy, get over here, boy, I'm gonna whoop your ass, like a white dad would say to his white son, and just like a black dad would say to his black son. We've seen in lots of movies. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure Tommy Lee Jones has said it, acting like a cowboy in some movie. Sure, there is a racial connotation with white men addressing black men, and were an American white man saying to Mayweather, then we would have had a big issue, because it would have been incumbent upon that white fighter to be socially aware of that and historically aware. Conor McGregor is a prize fighter who, although a very well self-taught, autodidactic man, and by all means a good secondary level student, he didn't go to college, he doesn't watch movies, he's not socially aware of things, he didn't even know who the Prime Minister was in some interview with Esquire last year. And he's up on stage, almost emotionally out of control, and he says a word like boy, and it's been misconstrued as a racist slur. I think that is really, really inflammatory and incendiary by a lot of media, Irish media outlets, and in English and American, to make these claims against McGregor. Yeah, and I just think it's clear from even his cultural appropriation of black gangster rap personae and people like Tupac and Biggie. He comes out to the Notorious B.I.G. Hypnotize. He's a massive gangster rap fan, just like I was growing up. We were around the same age, from a similar part of Dublin, where black gangster rap was just what we grew up with. It was really blowing up at that time. Tupac, Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, then latterly. And yeah, we acted like little quote-unquote wiggers sometimes growing up in Dublin. That's a bit cringy, and that's a bit regrettable probably to people in the black community. But so be it. There's a lot worse things that can happen, and if anything, I see it as a unifying force, because at that young age, as a young Irish teenager, it educates you on the black man's struggle in white America. It teaches you about their ongoing strifes and struggles, and it creates a large sense of empathy for the black man's struggle when you listen to socially conscious lyrics like Tupac Shakur. McGregor was just considering buying Tupac's house only recently. He's obviously a big Tupac fan as well as Biggie's. So you hear lots of horrible misogyny in that gangster rap, like bitch and pussy and biatch and all that kind of stuff. One word you don't actually hear in the context of a slave owner saying boy like that. You don't hear that in gangster rap. Maybe there should be a song on the slave era. So for McGregor to be consciously aware, like I wasn't consciously aware, and I highly doubt many of the journalists were that consciously aware prior to the moment to it being said in Toronto. I just think it's way too big of an ask and way too tenuous. Then there were the subsequent incidents, like when he came out and he tried to quash the whole thing. His hand was forced here, we must be said, you know, and he did do two regrettable things. First of all, the black man penis stereotypical trope, which he perpetuated by saying he's African American from the waist down. It was very cringy, and that is That's racist in itself. If we're being very highly PC about things, but I've got to insist and reiterate that that was only due to his hand being forced and coming out and making a clumsy joke. He then did also bring in Mayweather's daughter, again clumsy. Very regrettable that he said "yeah up on stage and sing for me yeah." But the tone there was clumsy and not malicious. He said "you're beautiful yeah," which she is a very beautiful young woman. So they're the incidents. You know, it all started with the Dance For Me Boy, which I feel I've explained quite clearly here, was a clearly unintentional racist remark, and even tenuous at best, to try to say that, you know, a white man, a white Irish man saying boy to a black American man should ipso facto automatically be judged as a racial remark. Then there was there's a fourth instance where he said he was asked if he beat Rocky in Rocky 3. He didn't know which Rocky 3 was, and he said, "Oh, is that the one with the dancing monkeys in the celebrity gym?" And some snide, some very malicious person there trying to portray McGregor as a racist created a mashup video showing a scene where there's black boxers skipping in Apollo Creed's gym. Now again, that's just very, very unfortunate that someone's gone to that length, because he clearly wasn't referring to that scene. What's clearly happened when he said dancing monkeys is that he's misremembered. He thought of animals in the movie, like in some stage in the Rocky series there's tigers or a monkey at some point. I think someone owns a monkey, like they're movies from the 80s. He thought that and he misremembered it. What he meant really was the celebrity gym, where there's all this mad circus stuff going on and Rocky's being kissed by some celebrity women and all that kind of stuff, and Mickey's going crazy, like, what's going on here? Mickey the coach. That's all that really happened there. No, he was not referring to skipping black men being dancing monkeys. He did use the word monkey during the London press conference. That was in relation to those two juice heads, the Jersey Shore rejects, who are Mayweather's bodyguards. So that's all that was happening there. He never used monkey as a racially intended word to a black man during his tour, and for people to be trying to insist that he was, again, it's just, I find it's a very negative influence out there of people looking for nefarious intentions where there are none. So I feel like I've addressed this well enough in this YouTube vlog on the whole race row surrounding McGregor. To conclude, I believe there's no single way Conor McGregor's a racist, and that there's no way he addressed Mayweather in any sort of white supremacist way during this press world tour. He's been belittling him in all sort of way, calling him a peanut head and slap head and all these things. That's what he does. He's a bully. He's definitely a bully, and he has done some regrettable and said a lot of regrettable things with opponents in the past. It can be embarrassing at times, it's over the top, but look, he's a two-weight world champion, and he's trying to break history by being one of the all-time greatest boxers. Who are we to question his methods if he's not really hurting anybody but his opponents? Okay, so thank you very much for watching the vlog. Please subscribe, and let's look forward to the fight, and hopefully all this racism shadow will be gone by the time of the fight on August 26th. Thanks. See ya. Bye-bye.